What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So, super exciting. We actually got the BMW back in the house and we are gonna start prepping the car for paint. And of course, who's gonna do it? It's gonna be me. So I actually just ordered all the parts that we needed to get this thing done. I got my orbital sander here, some painter's tape. We got some plastic tape and all kinds of other goodies in here, tar remover, sanding discs and all that. So I'm actually gonna be doing this for the first time. I've never actually painted a car before. Luckily for us, we're just gonna start off doing the engine bay. So let me give you guys an update, let you know what it looks like and what exactly I have planned going on to get this engine bay painted. It's super weird to have the car back in the house, even though it's not running. It's kind of bittersweet. We're actually at the halfway mark. So once I get this all painted and all set up, we're gonna take it back to Aaron's shop and we can finally get the LS motor in there and finally get the car running. But in the meantime, I'm gonna call this a victory and yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and see what we can clean up in this engine bay. Plan-wise is we actually do plan on getting everything in here painted, everything that you can visualize. Obviously the harnesses and stuff, this is gonna have to be put to the side. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna probably get a tripod or a stand or something and have it set either to the side of the car or somewhere in the middle of the car when I start spraying stuff. Little things like this brake booster here, I'll probably take that out. I'm gonna be using a lot of plastic and tin foil to cover up the things that I don't want to get painted. I'm gonna go ahead and unbox a couple of the tools I'll be using. A lot of the stuff is brand new to me. If you're gonna be going through this process with me, like I said, I've never painted a car before. Watched a bunch of YouTube videos just like everyone else out there. So it's kind of the blind leading the blind. So don't watch this expecting me to be professional. This video is probably gonna be broken up in multiple parts. I'm gonna be doing a lot of prep work. Still deciding. I'm probably gonna end up taking all of this off. This is all old stuff anyways. In the meantime, what I'll go ahead and do is I'm gonna unwrap a couple of my stuff and walk you through all the tools that I'm gonna be using. So let's get to it. So this looks like it's the sander here. Oh, doesn't look like it's the sander, it is the sander. This is my first set of Ryobi tools. I actually bought an air compressor along with this. And I just committed to this because I like the fact that you can interchange a lot of these batteries. That's pretty cool. Definitely gonna be using this. I actually bought a couple of foam pads here, but yeah, I guess this goes right here. So now you have a little more play, kind of just contours to the areas that you need. I also bought a bunch of various grit sandpaper here. Of course, I bought some of this wax and tar grease remover. Just got a caulking gun for some of the seam seal that we're gonna be using in the vehicle around the metal areas we got welded in. This is just some flat sticky backed sandpaper. I believe this is 320 grit. I bought this on Amazon. Gonna be using this to pretty much prep the surface right before paint. We got some tack cloth here. This here is the painter's plastic that we're gonna be using to pretty much cover up all the areas we don't want painted. Bondo, spreaders. Yeah, I believe that's pretty much it for now. But we also have the most important part, the paint. It's way too early to do a paint reveal anyways. I'm gonna show you that once we're actually getting done with the prime work. If I'm gonna give you a little hint, it's definitely gonna have some holographic flake in there too, just to kind of spruce up the engine bay, you know. It's a little special, it's an LS motor. I feel like I wanna make it look cool. Oh yeah, there's one more thing too, I forgot.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally.
And most importantly, we also got our paint sprayer. I don't remember if I showed this to you guys, but yeah, this is a stage 4 turbine sprayer. It wasn't exactly cheap, but at the same time too, I wanna make sure that if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right. So I bought the sprayer. We'll go ahead and unbox that right when we're about to start spraying the primer. In the meantime, a lot of this video and probably the next video will be me doing a lot of prep work on the vehicle. The first step, of course, is to pretty much sand everything down. And then once I sand everything down, go ahead and lay a layer of Bondo and body filler. There's obvious areas here, like this area here just doesn't look smooth, it looks all ugly, and little brackets here and there that I can probably remove. And again, this is gonna be a multi-day process. You're gonna see me throughout these videos in different clothes and looking completely different from the last couple of clips. So bear with me. My goal is to get this done hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I know I had a couple of plans to do install videos for the Supra, lip kit, side skirt extensions, vinyl wrap, things like that. But as of now, because the BMW is back, this is my priority. So I wanna get this all done and taken care of. I'm not gonna rush through the process, but definitely wanted to get this turned around back to Aaron. That way we can start enjoying the car and start driving it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started on the prep work. All right, guys, I think the first step I'm gonna do here is take off this roof liner here on the hood, or the hood liner here, because it looks ugly. Gonna go ahead and do that. All right, roof pins are off. Just went ahead and removed those. I believe that was a T30, if I'm not mistaken, if anyone's interested. Yeah, that was a T30. Yeah, I think Ziploc bags is gonna be ideal. Make sure we don't lose anything, and gonna label everything. That way we know where everything goes. Hood stuff. Now, let's see if we can go ahead and remove this. Some of them are just clips. They're not even screws. Woo. All kinds of stuff underneath here. Oh man. Got leaves, dirt. Pretty sure there's oil on this too, probably. All right, so underneath there are a couple of clips. There's a couple here. Some of them are a little difficult to come off like this. I might just pull that out with some pliers, but yeah, this is what it looks like underneath. Actually, it looks pretty good. Don't know, should I paint it? Okay, stage 1 complete. All right, hood screws are all removed. Next up is trying to figure out this harness situation. I think I might just wrap this all up in plastic and just give it in one glob. I don't know if I can disconnect it anywhere, but let's see what kind of solution we can figure out. All right, so I think the move is I'm just gonna lay everything here on the side. All right, so I think the move is I'm gonna lay everything over here to the side. I'm probably gonna wrap this up in foil. I'm gonna work around the fuse box, pretty much wrap this all up too. But obviously before we get wrapping, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pressure wash the inside real quick, soap it all up, cover up any of the electronic bits, and then that way we have a nice clean surface to work with. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and I did the best I could to kind of just have this hanging here. Yeah, some of these electronic bits I might just wrap up in plastic, specifically this especially, and then I'm gonna bust out the pressure washer and we'll go ahead and get it all cleaned up. Might as well start using this. Let's see how good this stuff actually is. Okay, interesting. For some reason I kind of thought that this would be like saran wrap, where it would actually have like an area where I can cut it. Maybe there is, hang on. Maybe I'm just stupid. No, looks like I have to do it manually. Yeah, this is actually pretty, yeah, this is pretty wide.
Kick you in the balls.
Might as well use some of this tape now while I drop it. Most of this stuff is actually just prep work. I can see why a lot of body shops charge a lot of hours in doing this, because this really does take a lot of time. It's not easy. Well, I mean, it's easy in the sense that all you gotta do is cover everything in plastic, but it's just really time consuming. pretty much wrapped up most of the wiring, the electrical stuff here on the side. This is just gonna hang here for now until we get ready to actually paint. I did wrap up the steering rack. Essentially, I just kind of wrapped up everything I don't want paint to touch. The next step really is to just clean everything up. Not bad for an afternoon of work. And as far as this little guy goes, I think I'm just gonna toss it. This is not worth saving. This thing's really old. It's been heat cycled so many times, it's not even worth it. And you can see it's starting to crack anyways, all over, so. Thank you for your service. Hello guys, it's a new day. So right now I got everything all wrapped up. I'm gonna be setting up the pressure washer, which kind of sucks because it's all rainy and it's windy and stormy outside. Look at the clouds, it's just moving like crazy. I'm gonna be setting up the pressure washer so we can wash it in the garage. It's not the most ideal thing to do, but unfortunately the car can't move. I would like to park the Supra outside when I do it, but in the meantime, I just put a cover over it temporarily. I'm gonna blast this real quick, let the foam do its work, pressure wash it, that way we can start sanding it later today. All right, soap is done. So actually before sanding, it's beneficial to actually have a wet floor. That way the dust doesn't get kicked up in the air. So yeah, I mean, maybe it kind of worked out to begin with. Everything's all clean now, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it up with these crap microfiber towels. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking the trim around this area out too. Things like the plastic bits, this gasket here for the hood. Yeah, that looks like it would be easy to do. I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding. I got as clean as I could, the floor is still damp. I'm excited to finally use that DA. I've never used it before, so hopefully it works out pretty well. I figured I might as well use my mask, I bought it. I'd rather wear this and not inhale all this old paint. And if I have the mask, I might as well use it. I'm gonna go ahead and start with 80 grit and make my way all the way up to 320. Once I get done sanding everything down, I'm gonna go ahead and put Bondo after, but I have a feeling the sanding is going to take a long time. I'm not going to go all the way down to bare metal, just enough for me to get a nice surface for the primer and the Bondo. So let's just get to it. Should probably put the battery in first. I'm trying my best to save these stickers, but I already sanded down the one that was over here. This one looks like it's in pretty good condition, but I don't know if I can save it. All right, just bought more 220 at Harbor Freight. What I learned about the orbital tool is that it does take it down pretty quickly, but it's not a replacement for hand sanding. So in order to get into a lot of those small crevices, you really do need to hand sand. I can be lazy and just go straight to primer, but from all the research that I've seen, everyone says that prep is key.
Is this the first time they've done something? It's so much up. It's all right after the night of Champions event.
Alright, so I'm about 3 hours into this session. I just finished this side with 220. I got into every single nook and cranny that I could get into. Obviously, I still need to do some finishing touches before we move on to the next grid on this side. Over here, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Because there's so many small areas in here I need to get the sandpaper into. And this is really an area that a lot of eyes will be on, because this isn't going to be covered up by the engine. I was actually surprised that I'm very patient and I was very meticulous around this area. I don't know why. This is just a transmission day, but I also tried focusing on this area too. It's really hard to work around the fuse box
But I was able to get into a couple of these nooks and crannies here, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. We hit a lot of the area here in 220. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this side. I've got a lot of work left to do. And that was about 3 hours worth of work, and we only stayed with 220, so we're gonna keep on grinding.
Alright guys, so I took a little break, making my way around right now. I'm pretty much 2/3 of the way done, still working on this corner area right now. Doing more research and digging into priming the vehicle and sanding. I think I might actually stop at 220. I initially started at 120 grit all around the engine bay, and then now I'm working on 220 and really getting into the crevices of the car. And I've been pretty meticulous. I think once I'm done doing my 220 all the way around, I'm gonna go back around and hit some areas that look like they need to be sanded down a little more. And then I'll start mixing up some Bondo and body filler and start applying it to the car. And then after applying the Bondo, obviously I've got to sand everything back down. I think I'm just gonna sand everything to 220, including the Bondo, and just smooth everything out as much as I can. The thing with painting a car is, like, you can ask a dozen people how to do it and they'll give you a dozen different answers. And from the research I saw, they said that primer can stick between 180 to 320 grit. I was initially gonna do 3 passes all the way up to 320, but if 220 is sufficient enough, then I think I might just stick to that. I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot of work. I don't mind doing 3 passes all the way to 320, but supposedly I guess the higher grit you go, the less bite you get from your primer. And since 220 seems like a pretty happy medium, I think I might just stick to that. And I guess we'll just go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on this. The wife's picking up in and out. Yeah, we're gonna keep chugging away. But I can totally see why people hire people to do this, because it is a long process. I've been working on this since noon, and it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. Actually, I've been starting on this since before noon, so it's been a while, and luckily I have all weekend off. I was gonna be working on this all the time, but that's the update I got for you guys. And I think I'm just gonna chop this video up in a couple of different sessions. So this is pretty much the sanding portion, and once we get to the body filler, I'll go ahead and start recording again and give you guys an update. So